Hello students, hope you are all well. Today, as you can see on your screen, I am going to teach you the poem To India, My Native Land, which has been written by Henry Louis Vivian Desrosiers. Desrosiers was the founder of the Young Bengal movement, and that Young Bengal society took an active part in the freedom struggle against the British. And this very poem, as you can see in the title, reflects Desrosiers' immense love towards his country, India. Of course, India is his country because he has always considered India as his own country. Now, before analyzing the poem line by line, I would like to discuss with you the technical sides of the poem first. Okay, first we will look towards the length of the poem. It is of 14 lines. That means this poem is a sonnet, and the language of the poem suggests that this is romantic in nature. That means Desrosiers has strictly followed or closely followed the romantic traits of the romantic English poets in this poem, and that is completely reflected in the language and style of this poem. Now we will try to find out the rhyme scheme of the poem. So past means we can assume it as A. Brow doesn't rhyme with past, so it will go for B. Vast rhymes with past, that means A. Now rhymes with brow, that means B. Last rhymes with past and vast, that means A again. And thou rhymes with now and brow, so B. Thee and misery do not rhyme with any of these, so it will be C, C. So the octave or the first 8 lines of this sonnet rhymes as A, B, A, B, A, B, C, C. Time we will assume is D. Rolled, E. Sublime rhymes with time, that means D again, and behold with rolled, that means E. B and D doesn't rhyme with anything, so F and F. So the rhyme scheme of the octave part is A, B, A, B, A, B, C, C, and the sestet part is D, E, D, E, F, F. This poem was published in 1828 as a part of Desrosiers' book, The Fakir of Changra, a metrical tale and other poems. And this book is one of the most notable works of Desrosiers. Now read the poem with me so that you can get the true essence of the poem. To India, my native land. My country, in thy day of glory past, a beauteous halo circled round thy brow, and worshipped as a deity thou wast. Where is thy glory? Where that reverence now? Thy eagle pinion is chained down at last, and grovelling in the lowly dust art thou. Thy minstrel hath no wreath to weave for thee, save the sad story of thy misery. Well, let me dive into the depths of time and bring from out the ages that have rolled a few small fragments of those wrecks sublime which human eyes may never more behold, and let the guerdon of my labor be, my fallen country, one kind wish from thee. Now, as you can see, the poet expresses a sense of personal loss in the downfall of his beloved country, India. He is directly addressing the country. That means the poem is totally personal in nature. He is directly addressing India as my country and saying that in the old days, India was worshipped as a deity, as a goddess. And now it has completely lost its glory. The poet here is regretting the fact that his motherland has now been reduced to the position of a slave of the British Empire. And that is the main point of his concern. In thy day of glory past means he is talking about the glorious past, the enriched cultural and historical past of India. A beauteous halo circled round thy brow. Beauteous means beautiful, and halo means a light or a circle of light often seen in the photographs of the saints and angels, and they are glowing behind their head. So a beautiful halo or a circle of light was surrounding the head of Mother India, and she was worshipped as a deity. Deity means a goddess. So the prestige of Mother India was like a goddess. Halo, worship, deity. These words suggest that the poet means that India was a holy land and she was worshipped as a goddess by her inhabitants. After considering this high esteem of this country, the poet is questioning, where is that glory, where that reverence now? Reverence means respect. So, the poet is lamenting over the loss of glory, the loss of respect due to the British rule. Thy eagle pinion is chained down at last. As you all know, the eagle is a bird which flies really high in the sky. And eagle pinion means the wings of an eagle. The wings of a big bird. And it is chained down at last. At last means at the ground. So, the bird which used to fly high in the sky is now chained. That means restrained, captured, captivated, and it is rolling over the ground. And groveling in the lowly dust art thou. Groveling means crawling. Usually the animals crawl. The birds, they do not crawl. But here the eagle is chained and brought down on the ground. So it is crawling. It is helpless. It is chain bound. It cannot fly anymore. So it is crawling on the ground, on the lowly dust. That means its status is really low now. Lowly dust means its low status. Thy minstrel hath no wreath to weave for thee. Thy minstrel means your singers, poets, birds. Minstrel means singers or birds. Hath no wreath. Wreath means flowers or garland. To weave means to compose. For thee, for you, for the country. So, the minstrels or the poets, they have no praise of her glory, but the stories of her tragedy. They cannot write and sing for the country now. They cannot praise the country now because it has lost its high esteem, its previous glorious status, and there is nothing left depending on which the minstrels or the birds can write the glorious poems praising the country. Save the sad story of thy misery. Save means accept. Accept the sad story. They have nothing to sing for. Well, let me dive into the depths of time. What is the depths of time? The poet here is suggesting, he is talking about the time flow, the flow of time, the river of time. We often compare time or the flying time with the flow of a river, and he wants to dive. He wants to go to that depths of time. He wants to dive into the pool or the river of time. And what does he want to do? And bring from out the ages that have rolled. The ages that have rolled means the past ages, the time that has gone. And what does he want to bring out from there? A few small fragments of those wrecks sublime, which human eyes may never more behold. And he wants to bring out a few small fragments, that means pieces or parts. And pieces of what? Of those wrecks sublime. Wrecks means something that is damaged, that is destroyed, that is destructed. Sublime means prestigious, something deep, something prestigious, something of extremely high quality. That means the rich past of this country that is damaged, destroyed, destructed, and they are torn apart into fragments, and he wants to bring those fragments out by diving into the depths of time, the pool of time, the river of passing time. He wants to go back to the glorious past and bring back that respect and that status which has been broken into a few small fragments, a few small parts, and cannot be seen by the human eyes anymore. Finally, we have reached the ending couplet, that means the last two lines of the poem, where the poet hopes for the best. He hopes for a brighter future. And what does he hope? And let the guerdon of my labor be, my fallen country, one kind wish from thee. Guerdon means reward or prize. Here the poet wants back the glory, the lost glory of his country as a reward, as a prize of his labor of writing this poem. He wants that glory back soon. He wants his country back with all its previous glory as a reward of his effort of writing poetry. Thus, the poem ends in hope and hope for a better future of India. He is requesting the inhabitants of India, the Indians, to fight back to regain the lost glory of their very dear motherland. So the basic idea of the whole poem is that the poet is expressing a sense of personal loss in the downfall of his country, India. Addressing his motherland, the poet says that in old days, India was worshipped as a deity, as a goddess. He wonders where that glory and that respect is gone. Why did they disappear? And he regrets the fact that his motherland has now been reduced to the position of a slave to the British Empire. It is considered as a chained eagle which cannot soar high in the skies, and now the wings of this great bird has been clipped and it is chained and it is crawling on the ground. The poets have no flowers to offer to their country. Instead, the sad story of the past. He will dig into the past and will try to sing of some parts of the great history which is no longer available to the younger generation, which is no longer available to its countrymen. And the only reward the author wants for his labor, for his effort, is that the country should have a kind wish for the author and for its countrymen. His last wish to all the Indians is to dive deep into the past, the glorious reverence that is lost, and to bring back the lost glory of his motherland, India. So students, I assume you have understood the meaning of the poem very well, and if you have any query, any question, any doubt regarding this poem, you can always contact me over WhatsApp, and we can discuss your problems there, because through YouTube it cannot be an interactive session. It is one-sided, so I do not like this approach at all. So I'll request you to listen to this video, and if you have any doubt, please contact me.